It is well known that Dick Grayson was the first Robin. But is that really the case? Not according to the comic named Robins Being Robin. The story starts in Bloodhaven, where a group of Anarchy followers are ready to wreak havoc. Until Nightwing stops them, together with Tim Drake, Damian Wayne, Stephanie Brown, and Red Hood. To disable a bomb, they need a password. They work together to figure it out using Batman's lessons. After saving the city once again, they head over to Grayson's place for food and to discuss whether or not being Robin was a good thing. They each briefly explain their origin story until a robin bird appears at their window. Tim says that could mean good luck, but also death. At the time, Tim gets an alert that he's locked out of the Batcomputer, and a weird man stumbles through the door. He talks about villains such as the Obeah Man. All these villains are related to their first missions as Robin, and they were kidnapped. The men get shot by a thing coming through the window. The next panel is a girl named Jenny sitting on the roof dressed as Robin. She said it's poor form to assemble all of the Robins and not invite the very first one. The Robins head to the Batcave to ask the help of Batman, who refuses and forbids them from following this case. Someone hacked the Batcomputer and seemingly stole information on the Robins. Of course, they didn't listen. During their investigation, they ran into sidekicks of villains who somehow level up to become almost exact copies of villains such as Catwoman and Poison Ivy. In true Damian fashion, he beats them up with one hand. They find the kidnapped villains in a room that's filling with poisonous gas. Tim Drake even argues that letting them die is justice and not murder. He honestly has a good point. He says he let the murderer of his mother get captured by Batman, while Jason got revenge on the people of his past. Jason kills and no one bats an eye because he does what needs to be done. No one cares when Damian kills, and ironically, his first villain or gauntlet was Tim Drake himself. Damian was allowed to be Robin because he let Tim live. However, he told Tim he would never be Batman because he was soft. He then asks Damian if he is merciless enough now. Jason then knocks them out and they save the villains. The Robins go their own way and Nightwing heads back to the Batcave to fill Bruce in on what happened. Bruce is his stoic self and Nightwing kinda loses it. He says they were figuring out whether being Robin was good and came to the conclusion that it wasn't. Next, we see Tim Drake patrolling the city until he sees a robin bird. He gets captured and brought to a hideout where Jenny is. She says she failed her first gauntlet, meaning she failed as a Robin. This is why she's now forgotten. He tries to escape, but Jenny beats him. Next, we see the other Robins coming together again because of new Anarchy followers. The Robins fight quite violently, which Stephanie doesn't like. Damian also sees the similarities between Anarchy and the Robins. A manipulator who ruined people through his teachings. A bad role model. They ask if they themselves are bad role models. Anyway, they go back to Grayson's place because Stephanie found evidence on the Anarchy devotees. During their first battle, she saw confusion in the female follower's eyes. She visited her and she didn't remember anything. Apparently, the Anarchy devotees were being controlled using a chip in their brain that makes them feel as if they're in a game. They also found out the weird guy that died was shot by a stone instead of a bullet. Stones are often used in slings, which Dick and Tim used as Robin. To figure out what's going on, the Robins implanted the chips in their heads. We switch back to Tim Drake. He has a conversation with Jenny in which she reveals that Tim is playing her game. The other Robins find each other in the game or simulation. In the simulation, they saw themselves happy, living the life they would have had if they never became Robin. This makes them believe someone is manipulating them to think they were better off without Batman. This is until they continue the game and all lose their happiness. They came to the conclusion that as Robin, they had to catch Batman. But Batman also caught them. By coming to this conclusion, they won the game and gained access to Gauntlet Zero. This is where we get some backstory. The escape artist, aka Cormac, was a villain who fought Batman. Batman needed help from an ally. Anita Jean was a young girl who managed to hack into Cormac's computer with a simple cell phone. Cormac adopted her and used her to bring down competitors. However, he was controlling and never let Anita out or have friends, not even a pet. Batman found her and they made a deal where Anita would be his insider and together they would bring Cormac down for using her as a weapon. They almost did until Cormac said he would take Batman down with him and reveal his identity. This would make Bruce lose everything and so would Anita. So, she shot him. Batman was enraged because she used a gun and killed someone. She fell in a fire and he thought she was dead. She wasn't, so she believed she was abandoned by Batman, the man who promised her home. So she took on the name Jenny Wren, which comes from a British lullaby in which Jenny defeats a robin. The Robins try to find Batman, who is now also stuck in the simulation. Dick is able to bring him out by reminding him of his first Robin mission, in which he revealed he wanted to be named Robin. Jenny, aka Anita, is obviously very mad at Batman. She asks why he was able to save all of the other Robins, but not her. Why did they all get a chance and she didn't? Batman replies by saying that he feared she would be too much like himself. Jenny was using a ton of power and it was storming, so that usually isn't a good combination. Jason manages to save her from a lightning bolt and that's the last we see of Jenny Wren. So the first Robin would have been Jenny or Anita. Now of course the story isn't canon, but it's a nice and possible backstory. The comic itself is pretty good. I like the story and I absolutely love seeing all of the Robins working together. I love their dynamic and how all of their personalities get to shine. It's a fun read and it's also really nice that they summarize everyone's backstory. This makes it a perfect book for new comic book readers who have an interest in the Bat family. The artwork in this book is chef's kiss, amazing. Especially the cover art. Oh my god! This comic is very fruity. The book was written by Tim Seeley and the art was done by Baltimore Rivas. They knew what they were doing. If you are interested in the Bat family, I made psych analysis on all of the Robins in this book and you can watch all these videos in this playlist. Thank you for watching. Bye!